guys, welcome back to Walker's Workshop. Today in the shop we're going to be doing a little preventative maintenance. We got a full service to do on our Honda Pioneer 1000. It's a 2018 model year. I got an AMSOIL kit thanks to Aaron from Downeast Synthetics. It's a full service, differentials, transmission, engine, filters, the whole 9 yards. He's great to deal with. You can look him up on Facebook. He also has a website, so check him out if you want your full service kit, or just follow along for a quick little how-to video on a full service Honda Pioneer 1000. Okay, so I got to be honest with you guys. This is actually the very first service I've done to this machine. I bought it with like 2,200 hours on it, or I guess it's miles, 2,200 miles on it. I checked the fluids when I bought it, didn't look bad. I put maybe 100 miles on it. But I want to go ahead and do the full service. That way I know exactly when it was done. I can put that information in my maintenance records. So since it's my first time doing a service on this machine, like a full service, I'm probably going to be taking off a whole lot more stuff than I need to. This is going to be pretty in-depth. I don't know. We'll see what all I have to take off. I'm probably going to take a whole bunch of stuff off that I don't have to. Alright guys, so a little more useful information here. Be careful with these clips. I was using this little screwdriver to poke the pin ones, like this guy, and I poked my screwdriver in there and it went all the way through, and now I lost the center piece to the pin. So maybe wouldn't hurt to have like a dozen of these on hand at all times. Or what I'm thinking about doing is swapping over to rivet nuts and just using little pan head screws for on all these. This panel had one here, one here, one here, here, and then this just pokes down into a little rubber grommet. And this is the back panel behind the seat. It came off pretty easy. This is the piece that goes on the floor where the passengers step. That was pretty simple too. 1, 2, 3, 4 pins. Pop that piece out. This is what it looks like in there. You can tell it was ridden off-road. Doesn't, like, there's no real thick mud caked up in it anywhere. I've had it stuck in the mud only up to the floorboards, like nothing, you know, nothing higher than this. It was never in any mud deeper than that. I've never had it in any water. Like up here, I mean, this is just dusty. It's not really mud or anything. And this stuff down here, it wipes off pretty easy too. I don't know, doesn't look too bad for having a couple thousand miles on it. That's where I'm at now. Looks like the oil fill is right here. Maybe that's the dipstick, I don't know. Let's pull it out and find out. Is a twister, not just a plug. Okay, so that's just a fill. There's no dipstick there. So we're gonna need a funnel. Nice long skinny funnel for that. And under this cover here, I believe this is just a rubber flap. Yeah, that is going to be the dipstick there. And it is also a turn. Yep. Okay. I'm going to set the camera down here, so maybe you guys can see this. So the oil is right above the lower line, which is fine. I don't know when it was changed last, so we'll go ahead and check that out. One thing for any of you guys that are having problems maybe with the four-wheel drive going in and out, under this cover right here, this screw and this pin, you take this cover off, and under here is where your cables are for your differential locks and stuff. You can get in there and adjust them real easy. There's a YouTube video on that I followed. Worked great. It worked okay before, it just didn't always want to go in right away, and it didn't want to come out right away. So I went ahead and I followed the directions on how to adjust them. Now it goes right in and out perfect every time, no hiccup. So we found the oil fill, the dipstick. I have not located the filters yet. That's next. Okay, so I'm glad that I took that rubber cover off under the seat, because I'll show you what's under here. So fuel pump assemblies here. You want to make sure that the vent lines and the fuel lines are all good. But I did find this little guy down here. So we did have to take off this rubber cover. I wasn't sure if I was going to have to, but I'm glad I did, because I did find this, I'm assuming, transmission fluid, which is good. A little dark, but it's good. We'll go ahead, I got a full service kit from AMSOIL. You can see the front drive shaft is down here. The joint on that is pretty good. Maybe a little bit of play, but I would call that normal. Heater hoses are right here. Look pretty good. Here's a vent line for the transmission. I'm going to check that out, make sure that's clear. I'm going to keep going here. Pull this back seat piece and this mid panel out, and see what else I can find. I'm going to keep digging until I can't dig any farther. Alright, so I got to tell you, taking that back seat part off was really easy. I was not expecting that. Taking that rubber panel off was a real pain. This was real simple. It was just little nut inserts here, here, and here. 5. That's all it was. Get them from the back here. There was one here, of course, one right here on this little bracket, one in the middle, same 2 on the other side. That was it. But now more of these stupid little pull pin clip things all the way across there to get that mid panel off. But pulling the seat backrest, easiest thing I've done yet. Okay, so that mid panel that was right here, yeah, that was the worst part so far. I could take the camera and show you each one of the popping out those little clips. We'd be here all day. My best advice is start popping out the ones you can see. Start pulling lightly, tugging lightly around, and that will tell you the ones you can't see. So now that we've got that off, this would be a great opportunity if you wanted to access the spark plugs, anything here with the throttle bodies. Check all your hoses for any loose connections. If you have a water issue, maybe you're getting in there. Now here I can really tell that this thing was not in any serious mud, because what you see down there, this black, that's the skid pan, and other than dusty, it's clean. So this thing was never appeared to be really swamped in any kind of serious way. Looks this to be the thermostat housing, probably. Of course, throttle bodies, valve cover breather here, PCV valve, I guess, in there. The exhaust. We all know about the heat issues with these. I'm thinking maybe one day here in the future we might do a header wrap on those. I have not seen anybody do that yet with these. I think that would stop a lot of the heat. I will get around to doing a heat shield kit one day and maybe extending the breathers. I don't ever plan on getting it that deep in the mud. So the breathers is not really a, you know, an important part at this very second. Right now I just want to get it maintained, and I still have not found the filters yet. So I'm thinking I need to get it up in the air. Let's go underneath. Alright guys, I found the filters. As far as location wise goes, let me flip you around. So obviously there's the steering wheel, driver's side, rear tire. Go in here, right there. 2 filters. The one you can see says DCT, dual clutch transmission. The other one says right on it ENG for engine oil. That should be the 2 main filters we're looking for. I don't think it shouldn't matter whether you drain the oil first or change the filters first. I'm gonna go ahead and drain the oil first. I'm gonna go get a drain pan. I'll be right back. Okay guys, I gotta confess something. I really thought I could do this service without having to jack it up. Yeah, nope, can't do it. Maybe if you're a skinny guy, you probably get right under this. I might have been able to do it without being on a creeper, but then I look like a I don't know, like a turtle on its shell trying to get, you know, scooched out from underneath the machine or back and forth. So what I did was I jacked it up and I looked underneath and I seen it had the whole big plastic cover underneath there, and I'm like, well, I think I see the access points. I don't have to take this off, but I'm going to anyhow. And well, what a freaking mess I got under here now. But I'm gonna sweep this up before I get to really doing a lot of work under here. But I did find engine oil drain, the dual clutch transmission oil drain. Also found the rear differential drain, and the front has a big metal cover on it, but I guess you can't see it, but there's a drain up there too. One thing I noticed that I was under here, again, it does not look like it was like swamped in any mud pits, because I mean the stuff's not that dirty. I mean the frame rail here is just really clean, except it has seen some, this is, I don't know if you could tell in the camera, but this is supposed to come out and be flat right here. It is bent up. This cross member is bent right here. This cross member is also bent up. It's not supposed to be like this. This one back here looks pretty good, and I didn't see anything in the back. But it is making me second guess the idea of getting the big heavy metal full-size skid plate. Didn't realize how much these really got banged up under here. I don't know what its previous life was like, so maybe it was really rough, you know, bottoming out kind of terrain. I'm not sure. Either way, I'm gonna go ahead, now that I got everything taken off and I'm done, I'm gonna give it a blast of just some shop air, some compressed air, blast it out real good, sweep up the floor. I'll bring you guys back after that. Oh, but one thing I wanted to remember to tell you, the screws coming out of the bottom, the ones in the middle, okay, zipped right out real easy. The ones in this frame rail, on the main beam of the frame rail over here on the side, did not. I had to work them in and out with the impact gun. Definitely don't just put the gun on there and hammer them out. They're too small of a bolt. They're only 6 millimeter. You'll just snap them off. You know, work them in and out, and eventually they'll come out pretty well unscathed. I did have one break. I got a little kind of carried away with the impact gun, but all the other ones came out eventually. So let me get my mess cleaned up, and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so I got the covers off, the 2 bolts. The top one has 3. Be careful when you take the lids off or the caps off. There is, oh, it's dark in here. There is a little spring. Where's my light? There we go. So in here, see, there's a little spring. That bad boy will fall out. The small one has a spring too. They're not connected to anything. They're just sitting there. So they will fall out if you're not careful and go in your drain pan, and you will have to fish them out. So the top filter, the main engine oil filter, came out pretty easy. The little guy here on the bottom is still stuck in there. There's 1,000,001 ways to skin a cat to get him out. I'm sure there's some special pliers or something, but I have my handy dandy Leatherman here, and I think with my can opener I should be able to just get in there and wiggle him and pry him, yep, and pull him out just like that. I will drop him right you up. Okay, let's grab the new ones. Oh, my goodness. Alrighty. So this is the small one. This is the large one. The kit from Aaron at Downeast Synthetics comes with both filters, both new O-rings. They are genuine Honda parts. They're not aftermarket cheapos. They are top quality, exactly what your machine needs. Let's get these cut open. See if I can do this with one hand. Uh-oh, what did I do with my handy dandy Leatherman? It's under here. There we go. Pocket knife. Oh no, don't cut the tire. Please don't cut the tire. Nope. See what we have in here. So you probably don't have to put any grease on this, because when it goes into the transmission, it's going to be all oily in there. I do anyhow. Right? Wrong? Say what you want. I grease everything. One thing's for sure, it's not going to hurt it. I use either white lithium grease or pretty much any grease, doesn't matter. You can use the old engine oil. I do not recommend using the new engine oil because it is not broken down yet and it will get gummy. Let's go back under here. We got grease on our new little filter. We'll stick him in there. Just give him a little push right where he needs to go. I'm going to move my drain pan out of the way without spilling it, hopefully. to prevent mud, oh look at that, successful, and debris from falling down inside. Okay, now I need to replace the O-ring. I'm going to set this spring with this guy. Okay, then take this O-ring off. This is my handy dandy Leatherman again. The handy dandy can opener again. Or O-ring tool, whatever you want to call it. So there's the big filters, the big O-ring. Here is the little O-ring. Okay, I'm gonna set him here. Clean this guy off. Make sure there's no dirt or mud or any kind of yucky stuff in there. Okay, put a little grease on my finger. Move that bad boy up there. Put him on, he fits nicely. I'm gonna give him just a little extra grease, rub around the edge. Okay, now I did this backwards. For any of you, don't forget the spring. For any of you guys gonna do this, I recommend doing the filter on the bottom first. Yeah, I learned that the hard way. Not that it's a big deal, but all of your bolts and covers and anything, oh my goodness, I'm gonna knock the camera over, for the filter on the bottom gets covered in oil. Yep, I didn't think about that. Bolts. So I put the new filter in, then the spring, and now the cover. I'm going to put these in by hand here before I go ahead and do the top one. So top, same deal here. I got a little bit of oil in there. I'm going to drain him out into the pan, making sure not to drain the spring into the pan as well. Okay. Spring lid O-ring. New O-ring. Don't forget the grease. On there like so. I do not know if these 3 bolts are in any particular spot. I'm gonna put it with the ENG back to the top, as I kind of figure it should be. And that's the way it came out. Oops, my bad. All right, new filter, grease. Simply just gonna take him and plug him right in place. Then the spring hopefully stays there for a second. Okay. Alrighty guys, this is the last quart I've already got 5 in. I read the manual. It takes 6.09 quarts of oil to fill the engine and sub-trans, or yeah, whichever one's connected. And I'm using this AMSOIL. Try not to overflood my filter here. ATV UTV specific synthetic blend. Well, it's full synthetic. Their blend of 10W40. I'm over here on this side because the dipstick's over here. I've got my 6 quarts in. I can't reach you. Come here, guys. Alrighty. So we already know that in this dark hole, which I will shed some light on, that's where our dipstick is located. It's kind of a stupid place for it. Come on, you. It's just a rubber flap here. I'd like it a lot better if it was just a cover you could take off. Try and move my light so I can. Okay, and I'm not going to check it. I'm going to wipe it off first. Make sure it's good and clean. Put her back down inside there. Now I don't know if there's a right way or a wrong way, whether or not you're supposed to check it by threading the dipstick in or just setting it against the threads. Okay, so it's hard to tell on here, but you can see that it is shiny and it is full of oil. It's really hard to see, huh? That oil is so clear. Alright, so we're going to screw that dipstick in there. Go around to the other side. Put on our oil fill cap. Remember I said I use grease on everything. I even put grease on the O-rings around these fill caps and stuff because they can get real tight and be a real bear if they get gummed up. Okay, so that should be it for that. We didn't drain any of the other fluids out yet. I want to go ahead and start the engine up. Check this first. Be careful not to step in the other oil. Thank you. Alrighty. Look underneath. Make sure I don't have any oil spewing anywhere. Looks pretty good. Nothing flying out anywhere. Alright, we're back on the ground here. This should be a quick one. 2 quarts, I believe, is what goes in the subtrans. There's no filter on it. It's just a simple spill and fill. So I'll show you where the drain plug's at. We'll fill her back up. I did drain my oil pan back out because it was getting pretty full. So now I'm under the opposite side of the machine. This guy here right on the side, he's a 17 millimeter. Just gonna give him, it's hard doing this with the wrong hand. Come on, you. I can do this without spilling a lot of it. We'll be in good shape. Hopefully. So there it is. I was going to say, I am being mindful that the copper washer did not come off with my bolt, but at the very end it did. So you can see here, this oil looks really nice. Definitely no water in any of these fluids in this machine. Yep, drained pretty quick. She's just about done already. So where we're at here, the engine that we just did is right back there. This is just in front of the engine, and the fill is directly on top. Oh, we'll get to that whenever we go to fill it. So she's just about it there. That was pretty simple. Fluid looked really good. I was glad to see that. Get my handy dandy torque wrench here. Give it 21 foot-pounds. Okay, let's go to the top. Alrighty guys, so little technical difficulties. Camera died, so I had to shut it down for the day. The only thing I did off camera was change the front and rear differential fluids. That was pretty straightforward. So I'll go ahead and I'll show you what I did real quick, and then we'll keep going. So for the rear differential fluid, the fill, I'm on the passenger side. The fill for it and level indicator is this bolt right here. There is an O-ring on there. The drain to drain the oil out is pretty straightforward. It's the only one underneath sticking straight up and down that you can access. Has a copper washer on it. You know, that's all straightforward stuff. 12 millimeter. You drop that down out. Right there on the passenger side rear. You refill your oil. Takes about a half a quart. The front is pretty much exactly the same, except on the front it's the opposite side where you fill. It's a little bit harder to get to. So it's the driver's side, the front part of the differential. Hopefully you guys can see it in here. It's right there, that large same looking plug that was on the rear. I think it also takes about a half a quart. It's the only drain bolt on the bottom, is right underneath the differential. It's also 12 millimeter. It's the only one you have access to. It's pointed straight down at you. It doesn't really get any more simple than that. I think I touched base on most everything. Of course, you're going to check your brake fluid. Some people recommend doing a brake fluid flush, which is fine, I guess. I've never done one unless I needed to make repairs to the system. By all means, go ahead. It says in the owner's manual 3,000 miles or 3,000 hours, I believe is what it says. Coolant, I think, is right around the same as the brake fluid. As long as you check it and there's no electrolysis happening in your coolant system, that's fine. If you want to change it, that's also fine. I'm not going to bother. They both look really good in here. I don't have any electrolysis. So the air cleaner I checked, that was like the first thing I checked when I went and looked at it, to see if it had sucked in any mud at any point in time, if there was an air filter. I'll show you guys real quick. This is the air filter box here. There's just a few, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe 10 or so. They're 5 millimeter Allen head. It's real easy. You just pop that off. Filter's right there. You can clean it or change it or whatever you feel is necessary. Mine looked really good. There was no mud or water had ever gotten up into the air filter, so I was pretty confident that it was going to be in good shape in the engine. I think that about wraps it up. Of course, I'm going to pull the wheels and tires. check the brakes. That's pretty much day one, you know, kind of material. Everybody knows how to pull their wheels. Everybody should know how to pull their wheels off, and look at the brake pads, make sure there's good thickness on them. If there's anything I missed or anything else you guys want to see, let me know. I'm going to go ahead, and how I disassembled everything, I'm just going to start putting it back in reverse. So I think that about wraps it up. I'll see you guys on the next one.